Hey, I'm Bob. I've been blind since birth, and I'm into Star Wars. The vehicles from Kenner and Hasbro help me visualize what you guys are looking at on screen. If you like the video, share, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. These things help the channel. We're going to be taking a look at General Grievous's Starfighter today, Soulless One. But before we take a look at that Starfighter, I wanted to see if I could show the Buzz Droid from our previous video again, because I don't know if he came out that well. Now, here he is in his ball configuration first, and he's a very small ball. I don't know how well I'm able to show him. Just a little ball of harmless space junk. Like I said, the Buzz droids were made by the same species that created the destroyer droids, the colicoid species, so they did design him to fold up to a ball as he was flying through space, and then when he reaches his target, he can unfold and latch on to Jedi starfighters or other ships and rip them to pieces if there are enough of those little guys. So here are his wicked little legs, and just a really neat looking design here. These guys were in the Revenge of the Sith video game from 2005. I forgot to mention that the other day. If you were playing on Grievous's invisible hand level, you had to fight these guys. I wish I still had that game. And they were also in the Clone Wars. I believe a couple of clone troopers were killed by these little guys. They are menacing if you have to fight them in person. They will rip into flesh and armor just as much as ships if they can get the chance. You don't want to mess with these little guys. They are scary. Oh, wait a minute now. I think he has a little saw blade attached to one of those legs there. You can barely see it, but it almost looks like a teeny tiny little circular saw. I never noticed that. That's really cool. So, Buzzy the Buzz Droid aside, let's take a look at General Grievous's Starfighter here. Let me bring forth Soulless One. And we saw Soulless One in Revenge of the Sith. Grievous had this Starfighter, but Obi-Wan stole it. We saw Grievous flying this in the Clone Wars 2008 series a few times. And we see he has armed this thing with triple laser cannons on the front there, if you can see them. I'll show this upright again. Here is that side. Turning it around so you can see the other side. Make a couple of passes here. And the bottom of this ship, I'm not sure what this additional cannon is here. We didn't see him use this in the wiki articles and other websites. I'm not sure, but they don't say what this bottom cannon is that he has slung underneath. It almost looks like the cannon of an X-Wing. I wonder if it's the same, or if it was made by the same manufacturers who made the X-Wing cannon, or turbo laser cannon. Not turbo laser cannon, just a regular laser cannon. Sorry about that. I misspoke there. Could be an ion cannon. I don't know. And if you played the Battlefront games, the ones from the early 2000s, on Battlefront 2, if you picked General Grievous's Starfighter, I think they classified this ship as a bomber. So Hasbro, I don't know if they were paying homage to the game or not, but to go along with that, they might have included these for that purpose. They gave you some missile launchers that you could pull out of the sides of the ship there. And we never saw Grievous use these, but I do like the idea that this Starfighter, the 22 Belbalab Starfighter, or the Belbalab 22, whichever way you want to say it, I do like the idea that this could have been a bomber. You know, this was an actual piloted fighter that the Separatists would use. And here's the missile that comes out of the launcher there. Just a spring-loaded missile that you can fire. I like the idea that these starfighters could have been used as bombers. Now that was from the old Legends timeline, so I mean, it's not canon or anything. The fact that, well, or the fiction that they were used as bombers, but I like the idea of a whole bunch of these things flying around, blasting other ships with missiles. And here on the back is a stabilizer fin. Goes up and down. And of course, it is not a Starfighter without an opening cockpit. So let's open this cockpit up here. We'll show you the inside of it. There's the seat, and there's a command console in there. Grievous had a holo transceiver in there too, so he could communicate with folks via hologram. He could hack into different networks if he needed to. Had a pretty nice sensor and hacker package in there for him. And you can take that command console out if you want to fit bigger figures in there. I guess if you take that console out, it's more of what it would look like if Grievous would have to actually ride in there, because Grievous is such a big cyborg. You know, he takes up a lot of room, so you can take that console out of there if you want. But if you want to leave it in there, that's fine too. I haven't tried taking the console out of there. It's probably perfectly okay to do so, but I don't know if I'd be able to get it back in. And this thing has landing gear that you can deploy if you want. I don't usually do that. Doesn't really stay out very well on this ship. But there they are. They're the little landing legs. So that'll do for General Grievous's Starfighter, Solus 1. It's one of my favorite ships. I think the design of it kind of reminds me of a flying car in a way. The top of the ship and the sides of the ship kind of remind me of a racing car or some kind of a sports car like design. I don't know. And the way that it's stretched out, the length of the ship and the size of the ship, it does remind me of a bomber. So I can see the Separatists using quite a few of these as bombers and actually having to put pilots in these ships from various species, because there aren't just droids in the Separatist army. I'm sure there are regular soldiers too. We just see droids most of the time because, I mean, they're expendable. They're like a dime a dozen, especially the B1 battle droids. They're so flimsy and you can just mass produce them. But I like to think that there are, you know, bombers like this. You could even put battle droids in these ships if you wanted to have them piloting bombers, if you don't just want to use it for Grievous. So yeah, that's Solus 1, 10 out of 10. And I believe we'll be taking a look at the, what do you call that? The Armored Assault Tank next time. The AAT from Episode 1. I do have that. It's one of my favorite ground vehicles that were used by the Separatists. They used a ton of those in Episode 1 and in the Clone Wars, the animated series. It's a really cool tank, so we'll be taking a look at that next time. Sticking with the Separatists for a bit longer. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Fly safely, and I will hear you guys next time.